the gentleman. Chair now recognize the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Kiim, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to all of you for joining us here today. Mr. Secretary, I wanted to start with you. Both of you have raised these points about hypersonic technologies. You yourself talked about our increased spending when it comes to long-range fires, the 12 successful tests. You've heard from some of my colleagues raising these issues as well. And I wanted to pick up on that. Part of the issue here in terms of trying to deter competitors from using this type of technology is building up our own capabilities, but some of it is also about our counter capabilities and defensive capabilities here. So I guess I just wanted to ask you, given the speed with which these delivery systems can travel and the difficulty of intercepting them, can these weapons actually be effectively countered? And are we putting in enough support and resources to be able to develop this type of counter-hypersonic capability?
Yeah, so one of the first things that we did in coming in...
Would you mind bringing the microphone a little closer?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. One of the first things that we did as we came in was to task our Undersecretary for R&E research to look at ways to develop capabilities to counter hypersonic weapons. And that work has been ongoing. We brought industry together. We collapsed a number of special access programs, and we really took a look at what it takes to intercept in the glide phase for these types of weapons. That work continues. It remains a priority for me. So.
Thank you. And I did have the chance to talk to the Undersecretary. I think she's doing wonderful work here. And I just urge you to make sure we're putting that type of investment into that is necessary, because I can tell you there are few things that keep me up at night more than just seeing what this type of technology is capable of. General Milley, I wanted to switch to you. In some similar type of vein, but very different profile here, we're seeing a proliferation of unmanned aerial systems, the capabilities to be able to deliver munitions. We've seen it in terms of recent attacks against our interests, our personnel. Some of these systems are very small, low profile, low cost, very different than the hypersonic systems. It, to me, sometimes has an unnerving similarity to some of the rise of what we saw with IEDs during the 2000s in terms of just how prolific this could be, which obviously took a tragic toll on us. I wanted to ask you how you would grade and assess our current capabilities to identify and intercept these types of UAS aerial systems.
Well, as you know, there's a lot of different types of UAS systems. Small, little off-the-shelf stuff you can get out of Radio Shack, all the way up to very sophisticated MQ-9s that we have, for example. So, but one of the typical characteristics are they're relatively low and slow, and they can be intercepted. They can be intercepted through a hard shoot-down with a kinetic action, or they can be intercepted through non-kinetics, like you break the electronic link between that and the control station. So a couple of different ways to do that. We have a wide variety of kind of UAS systems that are in the field today, many of them in Syria and Iraq and elsewhere. So it's an area for sure of concern. What it is, though, it's a subset of a much broader phenomena that's happening, which I would call a change in the fundamental character of war. And you're seeing the rapid introduction of robotics across the spectrum. The UAVs are just part of that. And very shortly, you're going to see the world's advanced militaries, United States, China, Russia, et cetera. You're going to see shifts to robotic systems in a big way, in land, sea, and air. So at some point in the future, you'll see maybe a third or more of the United States Navy or the Chinese Navy or the Russian Navy. Those will be unmanned maritime vessels, unmanned sub-vessels, and so on and so forth. So what you're seeing in
shift
UAVs
in that kind of direction
is a much broader shift to robotics in the conduct of war.
Yeah,
this is an area that I was very concerned about 2 years ago. As I saw this continue to develop, I asked our folks to take a hard look at making sure that we have the best capability to defend our troops in the inventory, and we do. It's not good enough, and we'll continue that work. But I also wanted the team to get upstream and go after the lines, the chains that enable this kind of activity, and we tasked our special operations forces to really bear down on this and pull together an interagency process, for lack of a better
What?
term, to go after this. So.
And just here, as I close here, I mean, the technology that you all are developing, I mean, I worry about the proliferation of this even into the civilian space, not just in terms of military targets. So your technology, your advancement there can help keep us safe everywhere here at the homeland as well. So thank you.
Chair, I recognize